Hello everyone, welcome to YouTube channel Learn with Gisela. In this video we shall be starting a new chapter, that is squares and square roots. In this part 1 we are going to learn about square numbers. We are also going to find out the method how to find whether a given number is a perfect square or not. We are going to learn about some facts about perfect squares. We are also going to study about triangular numbers and Pythagorean triplets. So let's start. Now, first of all, what are squares? The square of a number is the product obtained by multiplying the number by itself. That means if we take a number and we multiply by itself and we get a product, that product is called the square of that number. For example, let us take a number a and a is multiplied to a. That means a number is multiplied to itself and we get a square. For example, 4 into 4 is 4 square, which is equal to 16. Similarly, 5 into 5 is 5 square, which is equal to 25. 6 into 6 is 6 square, that is 36. So basically we are taking a number, we are multiplying that number by itself, we are getting a product, that is 16, 25, 36 are the products which we are getting by multiplying the number by itself, and these numbers are called the perfect square numbers or a square of the numbers. Therefore, the numbers like 1, 4, 9, 16, 36, 49 are called perfect squares. So a given number is called perfect square or square of a number if it is the square of some natural number. Like for example 16. 16 was a square of 4. 25 was a square of 5. 36 was a square of 6. Because we multiplied the number by itself, we got a product, and that product is known as the square of that number, or we can also say a perfect square number. So these numbers are exact squares and do not involve any decimals or fractions. Like for example 36. 36 is an exact square. It is not a decimal, it is not a fraction. It is obtained by multiplying the number by itself. It is a square of 6. When we multiply 6 into 6, we got 36. Similarly, when we multiplied 8 into 8, we got a perfect square number, that is 64. Similarly, when we multiply 9 into 9, we got the product, that is 81, and this product is called as perfect square. So what is a square number? Square number is the product which we get when we multiply the number by itself. Now further, let us see how to find out whether the given number is a perfect square or not. So write the numbers as the product of its prime factors and make pairs. So this is the step which is involved. What we will do is we will take the number. Suppose 81 is the number. We will find its prime factors. That has come 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. We shall form pairs. We will say 3 square into 3 square, which we can also use distributive property over here. So we can write 3 into 3 whole square. Further, it is 9 square. That means we can say that 81 is a perfect square of 9. Now let us take one more example where we are given a number and we have to find whether it is a perfect square number or not. So let us take a number 256. So we will do prime factorization. First we will divide it by 2. We will get 128. Then we will again divide by 2. We will get 64. Again by 2. Then we'll get 32. Then 16. Then 8. Then 4. Then 2. And then finally 1. So as you can see, we can form pairs over here. The prime factors what we have got, we can form pairs over here. So finally, first of all, we will write all the prime factors. Then we will write in pairs. And then further we can use distributive property. We can write 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. Basically every single number we can take out of the pair and then we can write whole square. Then 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 is 16. So 16 square. So we can say that 256 is a perfect square of 16. So this is a square number and it is a square of 16. Now let me take another example. So a given number is 720 over here and we have to find whether this number is a perfect square number or not. So we shall start with prime factorization to find out the factors. So first of all we will start with 2 and divide 720. We will get 360, then 180, then 90, then 45, then further it will be divided by 3, we will get 15, then again 3, we will get 5, and then again 5, we will get 1. So we will write all these factors which we have obtained, we will write over here. And further we will start making the pairs. And if you observe, only 5 is left ungrouped. Like over here, 2 and 2 will make a pair, 2 and 2 will make a pair, 3 and 3 will make a pair. So only number which is left unpaired is 5. So in prime factors of 720, we can say that factor 5 is left ungrouped. Therefore, 720 is not a perfect square number. In previous examples, if you have observed over there, all the prime factors, we could make it into pairs. We could make pairs out of them. But over here, since 5 is left ungrouped, it cannot be made into pair. Therefore, 720 is not a perfect square number. Now let us learn some facts about perfect squares. So number one fact is a number ending with odd number of zeros, let's say 10, 30, 50 and so on, is never a perfect square. For example, 60 with 10, 360 again 10, 450, 35,000 with 3 zeros. They are never perfect squares. Second fact is squares of even number is always even. For example, 6 square. 6 is an even number. So 6 square is 36. That is also even number. 12 is an even number. So 12 square is 144, which is an even number. 20 is an even number. So 20 square is 400. That is also an even number. Fact number 3 says squares of odd numbers are always odd. 7 is an odd number. So 7 square is 49. That is an odd number. 17 is an odd number. 17 square is 289, which is an odd number. 21 is an odd number. So 21 square is an odd number, which is 441. So square of even number is always even. Square of odd number is always odd. Fourth fact is the numbers ending with 2, 3, 7, 8 are not perfect squares. For example, you take 32, 243, 357, 468. They are not perfect squares. All these numbers are ending with 2, 3, 7, 8. So they are not perfect square. Any number which is ending with 2, 3, 7, 8 are not perfect squares. So over here we have learned about 4 facts. First one, we should not have odd number of zeros. Square of even number is even. Square of odd number is odd, and numbers ending with 2, 3, 7, 8 are not perfect squares. Now further, the fifth fact says the square of a number other than 0 and 1 is either a multiple of 3 or exceeds the multiple of 3 by 1. What does it mean? That means a square number other than 0 and 1. That means if we omit 0 and 1, all the other square numbers is either a multiple of 3 or they exceed multiple of 3 by 1. For example, if I take 3 square, 3 square is 9. 9 is a multiple of 3. 12 square is 144. It is a multiple of 3. But if I take suppose 4 square is 16. It is not a multiple of 3, but it exceeds the multiple of 3 by 1. When we write as 15 plus 1, we can say it exceeds the multiple of 3 by 1. Now take for example 13 square. 13 square is 169. 169 can be written as 168 plus 1. So again 169 is a square number which exceeds the multiple of 3 by 1 because 168 is divisible by 3. So clearly we can say 169 is a square number which exceeds the multiple of 3 by 1. Now fact number 6 is similar to fact number 5 with a difference. What it says? It says a square of a number other than 0 and 1. Again it also omits 0 and 1 is either a multiple of 4 or exceeds multiple of 4 by 1. Let us take an example. 4 square is equal to 16. 16 is a multiple of 4. 8 square is equal to 64. Again 64 is a multiple of 4. Clear. But over here if we take 5 square. 5 square is 25. 25 is not a multiple of 4. But if we write as 24 plus 1. 24 is divisible by 4. So it is a multiple of 4 we can say. So 25 is a multiple of 4 exceeded by 1. Similarly 9 square is 81. 81 can be written as 80 plus 1. So 80 is what? 80 is divisible by 4. We can say 81 is a square number which exceeds multiple of 4 by 1. So these are facts number 5 and 6. Now let us further move to seventh fact about perfect squares. It is very important fact and often confusing also. So it says the difference between the squares of two consecutive natural numbers is equal to their sum. What does it mean? It means that if we take two consecutive natural numbers and we square them and we find the difference, it is equal to their sum. For example, we take two natural numbers 4 and 3. We find their squares 16 and 9. Then we find their difference, and their difference is coming 7. 16 minus 9 is 7. This 7 is equal to their sum 4 plus 3. So in general what we can say is if n and n plus 1 are the two consecutive natural numbers and we square them, n plus 1 whole square and n square, and we find their difference. And further if we solve them, n plus 1 whole square is n plus 1 into n plus 1. So binomial into binomial we will solve, it will come n square plus n plus n plus 1. How it has come? You have already learned binomial into binomial. First we will multiply n with n square, n into 1 is n, then again 1 into n is n, and then 1 into 1 is 1. So this is how we have got this n square plus n plus n plus 1, and minus n square is already there, so minus n square has come over here. Now n square and n square will stand cancel. Further we are left with n, and let us make n plus 1 in brackets. So what we got is, we got the difference between the squares of two consecutive natural numbers, that is n plus 1 minus n square, and we got their sum n plus n plus 1. So basically the difference of the squares of two consecutive natural numbers is equal to their sum, that is n and n plus 1. Let us take one more example, like 14 square and 13 square. These are the two consecutive natural numbers. Let us square them. So 14 square is 196, 13 square is 169. Further we will find their difference. We will get 27, which is equal to their sum, that is 14 plus 13. Now similarly, if we take 24 square minus 23 square, 24 square is 576, 23 square is 529. We subtract them, we find the difference, it is coming 47. Now 47 is the sum of 24 and 23. So basically, to find the difference between the squares of two consecutive natural numbers, we just have to add these two numbers. That is, suppose we take two numbers n and n plus 1, and we have to find the difference of their squares. So we just have to add both these numbers. This is what is about this fact. Now the eighth fact says the square of a natural number n is equal to the sum of the first n odd natural numbers. That means square of any number, say n, any natural number n, is equal to the sum of the first n odd natural numbers. If we add the sum of first n odd natural numbers, we will get that square of that natural number. For example, 1 square is 1. That means it is the sum of the first one odd natural number. 2 square is 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. 2 square is 4, we know it. And it is also the sum of first two odd natural numbers. 3 square is 9. And actually it is the sum of the first three odd natural numbers, like 1 plus 3 plus 5. Similarly, 4 square is 16. So this square number 16 is actually the sum of the first four odd natural numbers. 5 square is 25. It is the sum of first 5 odd natural numbers, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. Similarly, 6 square, we know it is 36. It is also the sum of first 6 odd natural numbers. We will add 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 and we will get 36. 36 is what? 36 is a square number of a natural number, that is n. N square, that is 36. So we have to add the first 6 odd natural numbers to get 36. This is what is about fact number 8. Now according to ninth fact, squares of natural numbers composed of only digit 1 follow a peculiar pattern. That means if we square a natural number which is composed of only digit 1, it will have a pattern. For example, 1 square is 1, 11 square is 121. There are two digits over here, 1 and 1. So basically we will move till 2 over here. Now again, let us take 111 square and we will get 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Then 1111 square we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then 11,111 square we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what do you observe over here? When we have two digits over here, we will move till 2 and then backward. When we have three digits over here comprised of 1, we will move till 3. 1, 2, 3, then 2, 1. When we have four digits which are composed of only 1, then we will move till 4 over here. And if we have 5 digits over here, we will move till 5 and then backward. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1. Over here we will move till 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 3, 2, 1. Now another thing to be noted over here is when we do other way round, if we find the sum of these numbers which we have obtained, the perfect square numbers which we have obtained, if we find their sum, it is actually a square number. Like 1 is 1 square, 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4, which is 2 square. Again, the perfect square number is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If we add these numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, we will get 9, which is equal to 3 square. Again, if we add a square number over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, let us add all the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, we will get 16. It is 4 square. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let us add all these digits and what we will get 25, which is 5 square. So isn't it a peculiar pattern which we have got? Because it was a natural number which was only composed of digit 1. Therefore, square of that number is having this such a pattern. Now further, according to the 10th fact about perfect squares, there are 2n non-perfect square numbers between the square of the numbers n and n plus 1. Square of the numbers n and n plus 1 are the two consecutive numbers. If we square them and we have to find how many non-perfect square numbers lie between them, we will say 2n numbers lie between them. For example, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. Now between 1 and 4, how many non-perfect square numbers are there? So we will say non-perfect square numbers between 1 and 4 are 2 and 3. As you can see over here, between 1 and 4 we have 2 and 3. So there are total 2 non-square numbers between 2 square numbers. So the rule says 2n. 2n means 2 into 1 is equal to 2. Here n stands for the smallest number, that is n. N over here is 1. So 2 into 1 is equal to 2. So again another example I can take. 3 square is equal to 9. 4 square is equal to 16. Here the smallest number is 3. We can say over here our n is equal to 3 over here and our n plus 1 is equal to 4 over here. So 3 is the smallest number, 4 is the next consecutive number. Now 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16. Now how many non-perfect square numbers lie between 9 and 16? This we have to find. So there is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So we can say from between 9 and 16 there are 6 square numbers which lie. There are 6 non-square numbers which lie between 9 and 16. What are 9 and 16? 9 and 16 are the square numbers of 3 and 4. So the rule says 2n. 2n where n stands for the smallest number. Smallest number is 3. So 2 into 3 is equal to 6. So this is what the fact number 10 says, that there are 2n non-perfect square numbers which lie between the square of the two consecutive numbers, that is n and n plus 1. Now after learning the facts about square numbers, let us learn about triangular numbers. Numbers whose dot patterns can be arranged as triangles are called triangular numbers. Like 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28 are triangular numbers. As you can see over here, 1, then 3 dots are there which is in the form of triangle, 6 dots are there in the form of triangle, 10 dots are there in the form of triangles. So these are known as triangular numbers because their dot patterns can be arranged in the form of triangles. Now, what is the applicability of this triangular numbers in a perfect square chapter? What we do is, suppose I take a dot, this one dot, and I put it over here. I add it to 3 dots. I take this one dot and I add to the 3 dots. I join the dots, I will get a square. That means when I add 1 plus 3, I get 4, which is 2 square. Now similarly, if I take these 3 dots and I try to add it to 6 dots, how? Suppose I add one dot over here, second dot over here, and third dot over here if I put. So these 3 dots I have put and I join it. I join the dots and I will get a square. That means when I add 3 to 6, I'll get 9, which is a square number, that is 3 square. 3 square is equal to 9. Now, if I take these 6 dots and I add it to 10, how? First dot over here, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6. Total 6 dots I have added to the 10 dots. Now I join the dots. I'll get a square. So what I can say is 6 plus 10 is a square number, that is 16, which is a square of 4. So 4 square is 16. So this is the use of triangular numbers. When we add them, when we add these triangular numbers, we get a square number. So let us see over here, 0 plus 1 is 1 square, 1 plus 3 is 4, that is 2 square, 3 plus 6 is 9, that is 3 square. Further 6 plus 10 is 16, which is 4 square. Further we will take 10, and what should be added to 10 to get another perfect square number, that is 15. So 10 plus 15 is 25, that is 5 square. Now we take 15 and we add it to 20, add 21 to it to get another perfect square number, that is 36, and we get 6 square, that is 6 square. So these the ones in the red are triangular numbers because they can be formed into triangles. Their dot patterns can be arranged into triangles, and when we add these triangular numbers, we get a perfect square numbers. Now let us learn about Pythagorean triplets, or how to find whether the given triplets are Pythagorean or not. So what we will do is, let the smallest even number be 2m. We will take the smallest even number to be 2m and we will find m from it. And then afterwards we will find 2m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1. These are the 3 triplets. And if they satisfy this condition, then those triplets will be called Pythagorean triplets. Let us take an example. Which of the following triplets are Pythagorean? So over here, one question is 6, 7, 8. Another triplet is 10, 24 and 26. So let us take the first case where we are given 6, 7, 8 and we have to find out whether this triplet is a Pythagorean or not. Now over here, the smallest even number is 6 and we know that the smallest even number we have to assume to be 2m. So 2m is the smallest even number. We can say 2m is 6. Over here, smallest even number is 6 over here. So from here we can find that m is equal to 6 divided by 2, that is 3. Now once we have got the m value, that is 3, we can put the m value in these three triplets, that is 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1. So let us start. So to find the Pythagorean triplet, first of all let us take 2m only. So 2 into 3 is 6, that we had earlier assumed, that is the smallest even number, that is 6. Now m square minus 1 is 3 square minus 1, which is equal to 2n minus 1, which is equal to 8. That means 3 square minus 1, 9 minus 1 is equal to 8. Now m square plus 1 is equal to 3 square plus 1. So 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. So over here we can say that 6, 8 and 10 are Pythagorean triplet. But in the question we are given 6, 7, 8. So we can say that 6, 7, 8 are not Pythagorean triplets. Now let us take another case where we are given 10, 24 and 26. So over here the smallest number is 10 over here. So we will say smallest even number is 2m, that is 10. So m will be 10 divided by 2, that is 5. Now Pythagorean triplets will be 2m. 2 into 5 is 10. Further m square minus 1, that is 5 square minus 1 is equal to 25 minus 1, which is equal to 24. M square plus 1 is 5 square plus 1 is equal to 25 plus 1, which is equal to 26. So over here clearly we can say that 10, 24, 26 are Pythagorean triplets. So this is how we actually find out whether the given triplets are Pythagorean or not. So this is it. Hope you have enjoyed the video and learned about square numbers. In the next part, we are going to learn about square roots. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you everyone. Have a great day ahead.